in Brazil. Well, stay with us and find out. I want to remind you, coming up next on ESPN2, we've got the NHRA 4-wide Nationals. They got rain yesterday. Everything got rain yesterday all around the country, even golf. NASCAR Now Roundtable, 6 Eastern. That's today on ESPN2. And then on ESPN next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, we'll have the NASCAR Nationwide Series from Nashville. And the next stop on the IZOD IndyCar Series is in Alabama, Sunday, April 11th, 3 Eastern, over on Versus. All right, let's reset this for you as Will Power now holds the lead as we complete lap number 62 of 100. It's about a 4-second margin over Justin Wilson, and that's what 4 seconds look like on the racetrack. E.J. Vizo is running in third, and closely behind is fourth place is Scott Dixon, and it is still a good battle for fifth. That was Simona Di Silvestro and Danica Patrick. Then a little bit further back, you've got Rafa Matos with mirrors full of Tony Kanaan, Ryan Briscoe, and whoa, he took a look outside. Cannot make it through. Now, we were talking about Briscoe there. He's got Castroneves right behind him. They're 9th and 10th. Remember, they last pitted on lap 49. That's the latest of anybody in the field. So here comes Kanaan taking another peek on the inside.
They just fly through that section there, and you have to have a great run out of 2 and 3 if you're going to make that move on the inside of 4. But boy, you need to be very confident that you can get it done without taking both the other driver and yourself out.
Okay, Will Power up front. Look at the gap back to second place, Justin Wilson. And the question is, when is somebody going to blink and pit? E.J. Vizo's the first to blink. So he comes in. Vizo last pitted on about lap 27. Rick, it's all yours.
E.J. Vizo is playing the fuel game, hoping to get in, get out. The problem, they're probably going to need a little bit of luck. They're putting primaries on. They may need a little strong, longer window, some yellows to make it the rest of the distance. Jamie?
We'll pick it up right up here in the booth, and you can see there goes Tony Kanaan a little bit further back. The white mirrors of Briscoe. There's Castroneves going under Matos. Here comes Conway looking as well. Matos hangs on, and then there's contact, and Conway's into the barrier.
He could have done that if he had run a wider arc all the way through that turn, but he just cut across the bow of the car that's beside you. You can't do that.
Full course caution is exactly what E.J. Vizo needed, and he just gets it as soon as he comes back out onto the racetrack.
Because my calculations, he could be anywhere from 2 to 4 laps short of fuel by doing that stop that he did. So that certainly helps him now, and it's going to become a very busy pit lane.
And we are right on the cusp here. We talked to the guys. They were thinking that 34 laps was about as far as we could go, but we have seen some guys, depending on the yellow and depending on how hard they are on the throttle, stretch it a little bit further. Let's take another look at it.
Now, in this situation here, you got to believe the guy's just not going to go away. Run it too wide through there. Don't push him over the curbing. And for Rafa, he has nowhere to go, and the guy that pays the price for that is Conway. He could have just run a wide line through there because the next couple of turns coming up are all right-hand turns. And then for Rafa, he probably would have had to turn around and get off the throttle going through 6, 7, 8, and 9. But you can see that scenario there. He's up over the alligator bumps and couldn't do anything to help Conway.
On board with Ryan Hunter-Reay.
See a collection of cars up front. Ryan's going to see it, and he knows something's happening. He got off the gas, stayed off the gas because he's a veteran. He understands 2 cars can't fit where only one can go.
So our fourth caution here at St. Petersburg for Mike Conway's incident as he gets close contact with Rafa Matos, and it tightens up the field once again, and now we'll find out, I would imagine that everybody else that hasn't pitted is going to at this point, because it'll be a race to the finish.
Everybody seems to be laid out in pit lane. You would think that would be the smartest move. This race has been great, Marty. There's been a lot of battles going on through the field, but the next battle is going to happen here on pit lane once the pits are opened up.
So pits are closed right now. That's why nobody is taking. Didn't want to give you any false impressions that, oops, nobody's coming in. There you can see the marker lets the drivers know before they get into turn 13, 14 that the pit road is closed.
And the pressure now comes on the pit crew because they have to put those tires on and fuel without any mistakes. Some last-minute tire adjustments going on for tire pressure from some of the teams. Track conditions are changing here very quickly, very rapidly.
And again, remember, the big winners here could be E.J. Vizo, the biggest of all. Also remember, it was Dario Franchitti pitting back on lap 54. I still think he's definitely going to have to come one more time. But Vizo, with this yellow, should be able to go the distance. He could cycle through and have the race lead by the time we go back to green flag racing.
He's currently sitting in 14th position. A driver that has a lot of ability, has had some ups and downs in the last couple of years and had some run-ins with other drivers on the racetrack. Certainly has the ability to go very fast, is very likable. And the thing that I can remember about him a couple of years ago at Indianapolis was throughout the rain, he was bored, so he went in town and found himself a unicycle. And he taught himself how to ride it up and down the garage area in Indianapolis. So he's a bit of a different guy, but certainly has a lot of speed when he sits behind the wheel. We're going to find out now how his mental toughness is for these last part of this race.
His best finish, as you heard earlier, 4th in his career here at St. Petersburg back in 2008. But he could be sitting in the catbird seat in just a matter of moments.
And we talked before about the KV team, how it really came on late last year, maybe entered itself in being maybe the 3rd strongest team behind Ganassi and Penske, and they are very close now on par with Andretti.
So as the cars come around, turn 13, 14, everybody is coming down, so let's send it to Jamie Little.
And Justin Wilson kept it out there one extra lap because he wants to stay with the leader of Will Power. So Justin, the car is good, has not said a word on the radio. They're going to stick with blacks and lock them down, Vince.
Will Power, get the blacks on, the fresh blacks. He's led more laps than any other driver today, topping it off on fuel. He goes the distance from here, and he gets out first. Will Power will keep the lead at St. Pete.
Race off pit road, as you can see, everybody falling into line. It can get very tricky here at St. Petersburg. It's very narrow. Now, we can tell you that several cars did stay out. So here is, as far as the race off pit road, Will Power, Ryan Briscoe, the big winner, with 4 positions. And then on back, Di Silvestro loses 4 and Danica loses 2. Rick, give us an update on what happened on Danica's pit stop.
Very clean pit stop, but notice that they are taking a gamble. They have put reds on. You see them right there, the red tires. They're gambling if that is going to be the strategy to go right now. Obviously, some of the other people not going that way. In fact, Simona Di Silvestro was trying to copy that strategy. At the last second, she decided not to put the reds on, but Danica's gone with them. It'll be interesting to see what that does in terms of her ability to keep up and then stay with the guys ahead.
Let's go back, and here is Will Power's crew on this final pit stop, as they really did a good job, and they know it.
So hard to pass at this race course, so if you can help and assist your driver by doing a great pit stop as they did, they feel the pride in that.
We can tell you that Vitor Meira stayed out, and so he will assume the race lead. I'm sorry, to what now? And as we continue under this caution, let's give you some moments of Indy Lights highlights as we head to commercial break.
Here we go. The yellow and white car of Hinchcliffe gets the early jump, and he's going to lead the field down into turn number 1. They spread out 4 and 5 wide behind him, and now we have contact. Hinchcliffe makes contact and is run off. Here we go back to green. Vernay's going to take a look to the inside of the Lucas Oil car, and he's going to get him even before they get to turn number 1.
Checkered flag is out. J.K. Vernay.
ESPN's coverage of the IZOD IndyCar Series at St. Petersburg is presented by IZOD, the official apparel sponsor of the IZOD IndyCar Series, available at Macy's. And GoDaddy.com, where you can make the web your domain with a .com name for less than $1 a month.
A street course is really got to be very accurate with the car, and some of the corners you're almost, and sometimes you do touch the wall.
You can't see over them, you can't see through them, so you're turning into these corners blind. You just hope that there's no car there when you get around the corner.
You're putting a lot of energy in because you're going left and right. You know, you're pulling a lot of G's.
Your hands do take a beating. I've still got a couple of scabs from Brazil.
Your wrist, your lower back,